Are you considering appealing your residential real estate property taxes? Check out this short video for frequently asked questions about appealing your property taxes. Hey everybody, my name is Barry and this is my LawFull YouTube channel. If you've been here before, you know that this is the best place to get short legal videos on the topics that affect our lives. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel, and if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. If I can't help you, I'll find someone who can. I'm here in Chicago, Illinois today with real estate attorney Fred Agustin. Fred, thanks for getting together today.
Thank you for having me, Barry.
Fred, why don't you tell us a little bit about your practice?
Sure. So I'm a property tax appeal attorney here in the Chicagoland area. Obviously, I focus on my appeal work on residential and commercial properties. Primarily, again, I focus in Cook County, but I also do a lot in the collar counties, DuPage, Kane, Will, and Lake counties.
So, Fred, tell us a little bit about appealing your property taxes. Is this a federal or is it a state issue?
It's a state issue. And specifically, it's more of really a local issue in terms of what county you're in. So primarily, Cook County has their own laws, specifically in terms of property taxes and how properties are assessed. And it goes deeper than that. Also, it's a municipality issue because the municipalities dictate the local tax rates in terms of how these properties are going to be taxed.
Okay, great. So I guess the word of caution is that, so we're going to talk primarily about what happens here in Cook County. But if you're not in Chicago, make sure you consult with an attorney in whatever municipality you live in. So the first question is, in Cook County, do you pay your taxes in advance or do you pay them in arrears?
You pay them in arrears, and a lot of people get that confused. So for instance, the 2018 taxes are payable in 2019. And normally, the way it's laid out here in Cook County is the first installment is always 55% of the previous total tax year amount. So the first installment bill that everyone just received, that's 55% of the total 2017 tax bill. The second installment then gets released in July, and that's the actual tax amount you'll owe in 2018 minus whatever you paid in the first installment back in February.
Okay, so another question that I think people might have is, how are residential real estate property taxes calculated?
So it's a simple formula. You take the property's assessment times the property's local tax rate times the property's state equalizer. So let's talk briefly about two of those components. The state equalizer, that is set by the state of Illinois, the Illinois Department of Revenue, and that's always a set number. The local tax rate, again, similar to the state equalizer, that is also a set number, but that's dictated or set by the county clerk's office, and the county clerk's office really consults with the local municipality on that local tax rate. So the state equalizer and the local tax rate are fixed numbers.
And then, so what about the assessment? Where does the assessment come from?
So the assessment is, if we're appealing your property taxes, you're really appealing the property's assessment. And in residential here in Cook County, the assessment is 10% of whatever the assessor thinks your fair market value is.
Okay, so what we're really doing is we're appealing the residential property's assessment. So how do we do that?
So there are two ways you could do it. So let's first talk about the process. Here in Cook County, there are two levels. The first level is you could appeal at the Cook County Assessor's Office, and you could appeal at the Cook County Board of Review. Or if you're early enough in the process, you could actually do both. It doesn't hurt you. So the first level here in Cook County is the Assessor's Office and at the Board of Review. Let's say hypothetically you get your response. You get your decision from the Board of Review and you're not happy about it. You could then appeal it even further, which I call the second level. You could appeal it at the Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board, which is a board, quasi-judicial board that's established by the state of Illinois, or you could file a suit at Cook County, Circuit Court of Cook County.
Okay, so let's say that you want to appeal your property taxes. What do you base your appeal upon? What do you do?
So for residential, there are really two approaches. One approach is market value. And when I say market value, it is two components. You could get an appraisal done, have an appraiser prepare a report stating what your property value is worth versus what the assessor thinks it's worth. A second way to do it under the market value component is recent sale. If you purchased your property in the last 3 years and it's an arm's length transaction, meaning two different parties do course of business. It can't be a short sale. It can't be foreclosure.
Right.
Those are not arm's length sales. So it has to be an arm's length sale. So that's the market value component. The second way to appeal is uniformity. And that's simply researching similar properties in the area that have a lower assessment per square foot than the subject property you're representing.
Okay, so another great question to ask, and it's a question that I've been asked, is that how often should you appeal your property taxes?
And that's actually a good question, because the way I want to answer that is, first let's talk about the concept of getting reassessed. A lot of people get that confused in terms of when a property gets reassessed versus actually appealing your property's assessment. So here in Cook County, all properties get reassessed every 3 years. And it's really divided into three groups in Cook County. You have the northern group, which is comprised of all the northern municipalities in Cook County. You have the southern group, which comprises of all properties in the southern municipalities of Cook County. And then you have Chicago. All properties in Chicago represent the third group. This year in 2019, all the properties in the northern section of Cook County are getting reassessed. So all properties in Cook County get reassessed every 3 years, depending on the group you're in. Now, for appealing purposes, you could actually appeal every year. You don't have to appeal just the reassessment year. You could appeal every year.
Okay, so the last question of the day is really, is it expensive? How much does it cost to hire a real estate attorney to represent you in this process?
So in terms of how I charge, and a lot of other property tax appeal attorneys charge the same way, we charge a contingency fee. That's basically a percentage of whatever we could save you in terms of property tax dollars. So for instance, residential properties, it varies in terms of what the percentage is, but the way it works is, so if we're able to get you a reduction in your assessment, that means you're going to save in your taxes, and we get a percentage of that. Let's say we can't change your assessment, and let's just say if we go through the appeal process and your assessment stays the same, then you wouldn't owe us anything. So purely the way it's set up, we only get compensated if we're able to save you money.
So there's really no risk on the part of the homeowner.
There is no risk. There is no risk because, again, we're only getting compensated if we could get you a reduction. There are no filing fees. There are no upfront processing fees. At least I don't charge an upfront processing fee. It's purely the contingency fee. And again, I only get compensated if I am successful in reducing your assessment.
Fred, thanks a lot for getting together with us today to answer a lot of our frequently asked questions about appealing residential real estate property taxes.
You're welcome, Barry.
Now it's time for your take on the law. Have you appealed your property taxes, or are you considering appealing them? Tell us about it in the comment section below. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out this short video on how to appeal your real estate taxes. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We post bi-weekly videos on the legal topics that affect your life. And if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. If I can't help you, I'll find someone who can.